Sean. I am a nursing level 1 student, and could I specify what qualifications?
This is Glenn Light. He is in room 619. He is 67 years old. His doctor is Dr. Phillips. He has no known allergies according to this. Full code. His primary reason for being here is a stage 2 diabetic ulcer on his right heel that was noticed 3 weeks ago. It is about 5.5 to 2.5 centimeters wide and 3 centimeters deep. The secondary reason he's here is his diabetes mellitus type 1. He was diagnosed 20 years ago with it, and usually he can keep it within a good normal range. But within the past 5 days, his glucose levels have been in the 300s. So we are going to give him Lispro today because his last AccuCheck was 290. Earlier he was in pain at a level of 6 for his right ulcer. We gave him morphine, which brought down the pain level to 1. He does have an IV saline lock in his right medium vein 20 gauge. He is on a diabetic 18 calorie diet. He is on a 2 gram sodium restricted diet as well. His last set of vitals was 128/70, O2 stats at 96, heart rate at 76, and his LOCs is ×4 right now.
Why specifically the client is receiving this medication?
So he is a type 1 diabetic, so his body is no longer producing insulin, so this is why we're giving him.
What action does the medication have on the body?
So it stimulates the glucose uptake into the skeletal muscle and fat, and it will bring down his glucose level.
When should you question administering this medication?
So I would question it if his glucose level was too low, but like I said, the last AccuCheck was 290, so we do need to administer this.
Does this medication have a therapeutic serum level?
No, it does not.
Which vital signs would you monitor?
I would monitor all of them, temperature, respirations, BP, heart rate, also check his AccuChecks, double check that to make sure that it was correct.
Which physiological parameters should be monitored when the medication is being administered?
So this Lispro is a fast-acting insulin, so it will start to act within 15 to 30 minutes after administration. So I do want to make sure that he has eaten 15 minutes prior, 15 minutes after, and I have ordered him a meal, but is waiting outside his room to make sure he eats that beforehand.
What intervention must be taught to the client to ensure medication administered safely in the hospital setting?
So we're going to want to make sure that aseptic technique is used at the injection site, that the injection site is rotated because we don't want buildup of adipose tissue there. It will break down. Also, make sure, again, glucose check is always very important, and that he has his meal around.
What intervention must be taught for taking the meds safely at home?
So I would teach him to make sure that he doesn't change his insulin, that he's using the correct syringes as well, that he's using aseptic technique, even if it's just water and soap. Make sure he does have his meal before or 15 minutes after administering this.
Are there any side effects to this medication?
There is major side effect would be hypoglycemia, and an adverse reaction would be anaphylaxis. For hypoglycemia, we're going to want to watch out for sweatiness, tachycardia, any tingling in the mouth, lips, feet, fingertips, stuff like that.
How will you know the medication is effective?
We'll know the medication is effective once it levels out and that he's no longer 290, in the 290 range.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
No problem. So before I go into the room, I'm going to pull out my medication. Okay, so in the chart it does say that I'm supposed to give him Lispro. And it is on a sliding scale, so I'm going to check the medication to the MAR, make sure that it is correct, that the expiration is correct as well. I'm going to double check the insulin inside to make sure it's not cloudy or anything like that, because that means it's no good. So make sure that the chart is correct to the MAR as well, because there could be, I don't want any differences in that. Make sure that this is the correct patient that we're going into, which is Glenn Light in 619. Make sure that it's the correct route, the correct dosage as well, and the correct route is subcutaneous, that it is the right time to be giving it to him, which it is. And like I said, I ordered his meal, so it is a proper time to give it to him right now. I'm going to check the allergies as well. The chart said that he didn't, the MAR says that he doesn't either, but I will double check with him to make sure that that is correct. So we're going to go in here real quick, knock on the door. Hi, Mr. Light. I'm going to be giving you your insulin today, the fast-acting Lispro or Humalog, whichever way you might know it. Can I get your name and age?
Yeah, I'm 67 years old, and my name is Mr. Light.
Okay, do you have any allergies that I might not know of?
No allergies.
Okay, so it does say that on his armband, and it is correct what it says here in the MAR. Okay, so I don't have the scanner, so I have to type this in real quick. Okay, so I'm trying to verify that there is a green light, which there is, because that will say, I do have the correct patient, that this is the correct medication that he should be receiving right now. So I checked the medication to the MAR, to the chart against the MAR. The route is correct again, same time, right dosage, and he is, since his AccuCheck was at 290, he will be receiving 6 units of insulin, of Lispro. Okay. Make sure I wash my hands here. Check my syringe to make sure that it is an insulin syringe. Mr. Light, where was the last place that you had this injection?
It was in my arm.
Okay. So, do you mind if we give it to you in the abdomen?
No, that sounds okay.
Okay. And do you know why you're getting this today?
I mean, I know I'm diabetic. That's why they give me insulin.
Yeah, so that is correct. Your last AccuCheck was 290, so we're going to want to lower it, and that's what this is for. An important teaching for this is to make sure that you eat 15 minutes prior or before. And I know you haven't eaten yet, so I did order you a meal, and it is outside the door. So I'm going to be bringing that in before I leave. Okay? So we did say it's 6 units I will be giving the patient. Gonna make sure some air there. Since this is an insulin injection, I need to have another nurse verify this, so if my student nurse can double check this.
Okay, yeah.
So like the chart said, we are giving it subcutaneously, and if I had any questions about this medication, I would call the pharmacist or check the online drug book, and it would all coincide with what the information I have here. Okay. So Mr. Light, we're going to be giving it to you in your abdomen. I'm going to pick your right upper quadrant of your abdomen. Okay? So we can rotate this site. I'm gonna clean you off, and it is a little cold. I'm gonna pinch you real quick. There. And I'm not gonna recap this. So I'm gonna make sure that I put in the correct administered time administered here. And we did do it in the right. We did it in the right upper quadrant, so I have to chart that. And I'll chart that I did give him 6 units. His AccuCheck was 290. And that the food was brought in at. Okay, so that is charted in there. Mr. Lake, do you know the signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia?
No, not really.
Okay, so I want you to make sure that you know this because this is a fast-acting insulin. It will drop your insulin low, but we don't want it to go into the point where you're hypoglycemic. So you'll feel like tingling in your lips, in your fingers, in your toes. You might start feeling cold, break out into a sweat, tachycardic. And if you are at home, your family members can recognize it, like if you start to get confused and stuff like that. You are on a 1800 diabetic diet, so we want to keep on top of that, as well as your 2-gram sodium restricted diet. So we want to avoid any processed food, any like luncheon meats, anything canned, stuff like that. Okay. And if you can just repeat to me like the hypoglycemic.
I maybe get like lightheaded or like my heart's beating fast, and I know I should avoid like canned goods.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you did. And like I said, this is a fast acting, so I do want to reiterate that you do have a meal 15 minutes prior, 15 minutes after, because we don't want you to go hypoglycemic. Okay.
Okay.
So make sure that the bed is down. Give them the collate and everything. Okay. Before I exit the room, I'm gonna wash my hands, make sure I get all that.
I have 2 more questions. Were there any pieces of information you reviewed before administering this medication?
So I reviewed his AccuCheck to make sure that he did need it, in fact, because I don't want his glucose to be too low and then make him hypoglycemic. I also asked him where his last injection site was so I can rotate that.
Did this information affect your decision to administer the medication?
It did because we did switch out his injection site because he said he had it in his arm, so we put it in his right upper quadrant of his stomach and anything. I also, checked I was the right person, time, dosage, route, and medication because obviously I don't want to mix any of that up.
Did this information affect how you administer the medication?
Just the changing of the injection site. It was all that changed.
That's
Okay.
all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.